All right, welcome guys to another live recording of Pencil Leadership. Another great guest with us. We're super blessed to have the guest we have on today. This episode is no different. I'm going to be bringing you Max Cathcart. He is 26-year-old entrepreneur, Canadian, who is big into health and wellness, and he's been that way since a young age. He's been hockey, racing motocross, and he just wants to build the body of his dreams. But he realized that working construction jobs after high school wasn't necessarily what he wanted to do. And he realized entrepreneurship was the way he wanted to go, mainly because both his parents were entrepreneurs and are still entrepreneurs. And so now he focuses on helping other people get the body they want and boost their performance. So we're going to bring Max on the show today. Max,
hello.
Welcome.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to get started in this one.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. So I'm going to let you go ahead and just kind of share your story about what got you to improving people's performance, man.
Yeah. So I started when I was about 15 years old. We got into the fitness-wise, mainly through hockey. So I started training with hockey teams. I really enjoyed that part of it. And then that's kind of when I got my first job at a supplement store. So from there, I started really getting into the nutrition side, supplement side as well, and found the love for that. It was pretty simple for me to follow through and keep up with the training part because I loved it so much. So that eventually escalated into really diving into the nutrition part. That was probably when I was about 18. And I really enjoyed it. Really wanted to see how much food could really change your body and performance, mainly just for the performance in hockey to see how far I could go and maybe increase recovery. I mean, we were playing a lot of games, a lot of practices. So yeah, it was really interesting. I loved it. But at that 18, 19 spot, when I really got into nutrition, my focus kind of went, instead of performance, it kind of went into just bodybuilding, and just developing a body that I liked, I wanted to have and dreamed of having. So from there, that's kind of where it took off. Went to school, got everything down there. And then, yeah, just kept working on myself, a little bit of trial and error stuff. And it went well. I mean, there's some struggles that we had for sure. And yeah, it was very interesting. There were some big roadblocks where you have a nice stall for a while, but it is what it is. We worked through it. And yeah, so I mean, ever since then, it's pretty short. I mean, ever since then, all the way to now, 26, I've still been just doing the same things, just seeing what really works for me, my habits, and dialing it in as good as I can. Really that I do it day in, day out. So that's pretty much the story of it. It's pretty simple. So, but yeah, that's the story.
Awesome, man. Thank you for sharing that. I think it's so cool that you got started at such a young age, wanting to do this.
Yeah.
Awesome. I wish I would have got started a little bit younger too. So no, that's really cool that you're and wanting to make a difference. I mean, I think health is wealth. With my programs, health is one of the pillars, because without a healthy lifestyle, being fit, there's not much you can do if you're not healthy, and if you're not being able to take care of yourself, then you can't take care of others. So
exactly.
Yeah. That's so I'm curious, what position in hockey did you play?
Oh, I'm actually wish you could guess this.
Uh-oh.
Let's see.
I'm going to guess goalie, but I don't think I'm right.
That's the one.
Yes. All right. That's awesome.
Yeah, one of those weird goalies, but
that's awesome. One sport I wish I would have, we don't have it around in Indiana much, but I think it would have been fun to play. I played soccer, and so the physicalness of that is not compared to hockey, obviously, but the small amount that it was fun for me, at least. So
no, it is. I think I wish I did football for sure. I think it would have been pretty good. I was fast, so that was
Nice.
something that I kind of wish I did as well.
Yeah.
So,
Do you still play
yeah.
hockey at all?
I don't. I haven't played in 6 years.
Oh, wow.
So it's been a
Man.
long time since I laced it up. Yeah.
Yeah. Dang. Well, that's cool. Well, I'm excited to talk about how we can improve our performance. I know you bring in 3 kind of main points that we're going to kind of unpack a little bit.
Yeah.
So you mentioned before we start recording the 3 points being scheduling, tracking and nutrition, and mental clarity and recovery. So I would love for you to start. Like, what does scheduling look like as far as trying to improve our performance?
So that one's going to kind of go with the person, depending on what their schedule is like. We'll usually break it down into monthly, weekly, and daily goals.
Okay.
We'll also have micro goals that come with that. So first off, we schedule that, and then we move into scheduling out the days. That's usually the first one that we do. So we look at how much time they're putting into their work, their family, and then where are we going to fit time into the nutrition and like self-care area. And that one's usually pretty slim. So I definitely like for them to really sit and think about that as well, and just be like, how much time do you want to dedicate to yourself to only improve those other areas of your life? So yeah, the scheduling thing, we'll break it down into days. We'll have habits and tasks that need to be done that day as far just to get those goals going. But yeah, just mainly for organization, productivity, that's a huge thing. So if we have it written down and you're looking at it, you're more likely to do it. And those are the things we need to do daily to get where we want.
Yeah, I think, man, yeah, time management, scheduling, like knowing where your time goes. It's almost like money. Like if you don't know where your money's going, it's just going to disappear on you. And I think that's key. So when you're scheduling time or helping people schedule time for like personal development or for nutrition or things like that, are there maybe specific topics that you notice that they have, or the majority of people usually have to focus on that they're not to start?
Okay, so for nutrition, you said you might have to say that again. I didn't.
Yeah, no,
not really.
So when you're breaking down their goals, the time spent in different activities during the day, is there usually somewhere there, like the majority of people you've worked with are lacking in as far as nutrition?
Oh, that in that way, it's usually just not knowing how much to eat, what to eat, and kind of when to eat it.
Okay.
That's as far as nutrition goes. That's pretty much it. Or the other option is that just the knowledge of that knowledge of food and nutrition as a whole isn't there.
Okay.
So then we teach that as well.
Gotcha. So I'm curious, on average, how much time do people usually say, or a lot, to bettering their nutrition or their performance in general?
It's the last thing on the list for sure.
Gotcha. So pretty low percentage then.
It's bad. Yeah. It's not something that's good for sure. From just what I see, like when stuff gets too busy, this and that, or work, your regular life, the first thing that usually starts to drop is your nutrition and self-care.
And that's the worst thing to let go.
That's the worst thing to drop first, because you need that in order to keep pushing. So that's definitely the majority of people that's what they say to me. So that's the one.
And I was talking to somebody today, and they were like, I just don't have the time. And I'm like, whoa, wait, you have the time. And you're just not managing it correctly. I think
and I mean, if someone, that's huge. And I think, I mean, they're going to have to want to change that as well. I can't make you want to do that. So I've had people come to me even like that, and they're just like, hey, like nutrition is not on my list right now of priorities. And I'm like, I honestly don't even know what to say to that.
Yeah, exactly.
I honestly don't. I'm like, okay, like your entire life is based around this, but you don't want to do it. So
that's so true.
I don't know.
So I used to be an athletic trainer before I started my own business. And so, I get the same kind of thing. Well, I know I need to change, but I just like that. I'm like, then don't complain about what it's causing to happen to you. So it's such a hard mindset shift to have in people sometimes, but it is nice when you do get those people that do want to change and do want to implement new strategies. So when I'm sure when you have those people, like, how does that, the second one is the tracking and the nutrition. So what's that kind of look like when you have someone like, okay, I want to make a change. I understand I'm going to schedule this time in. So how do you kind of guide them in tracking those goals and then the nutrition with that?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's first off, it's amazing to work with those people who are truly like looking to change, and it makes it fun for both of us. It's really interesting. We get to have like we get to sit down and really strategize, but I really enjoy that part because everyone's different. So it's not just like we have a plan of like a process plan, but it's specific. It's not specific to like everyone, right? So we want to make it for each individual person. So it's always different, and we kind of just figure that out as we go. But as the nutrition part of it, we go a few different ways. So again, it's really going to depend on that person's level. That's why it's hard to kind of narrow this down, and just their knowledge about it as well. So for one person, I could be breaking it down into simple habits. Like, hey, we're going to be cooking, like at least having one meal ready from like home cooked for the day. So you cook 5 for the week, and that's it, right? If someone's going out a lot, eating out a lot, that's kind of where we'll start. We'll be like, okay, 1 home cooked meal per day. And then we'll kind of progress up to that. Same with meal options. I mean, like we'll start dabbling into like maybe things that they haven't had before, or this and that in that way. But yeah, I mean, it's super hard to give you a broad one because they're all really specific. But yeah, I mean, or someone could be really knowledgeable in that, and they're just like, hey, I just want to know how much and what times and how will it help me. So then we'll kind of break it down. And we'll give them like a food list of options to pick from. I don't give a strict plan. I'll give them a plan, but it's only a template. It's just it's customized to them, but it's only just to see like meal breakdowns, what kind of these meals should be made up of, and maybe a calorie macro breakdown. I don't want them to follow it. I just want them to understand what goes into it. And so they can lay it out for each meal. They know exactly how much.
Okay.
So
no, that's good. I like that. And so are you big into like the macros, the calorie counting then?
So I mean, you have to be to some degree. Again, depending on where they're starting, we're going to start with just healthy habits, right? So if we're eating out a lot, it's going to be getting whole foods in. So going to the grocery stores, getting whole foods, good foods, and then we'll progress into that down the road for sure. So the main thing I push is like getting our concrete stuff down. If we can't even get those down, then how are we going to track and push, and get results? Like we have to start at square one here. So that's usually where we're at. I mean, again, the range is different, but we'll go to that simple. It's like, okay, we're going to go get some food, like, and then we schedule it out as well. So it's like, this is grocery days. Like this is going to be your cook day and cook and pack. And then that is for that many days. Right. And we just keep doing that. But
that's good. Yeah, it's like basically a good foundation. You're helping them build a good foundation. Cause you think about it, the average probably, or the majority probably is like an average, like knowledge and grasp of it all. And so, I think,
so, I mean, the main, like that, they kind of know what foods are going to be better for them or more nutrient dense as well. And so we can kind of step up a bit there. And eventually down the road, we'll get into like, hey, this is how we're going to track whatever way that they choose. I kind of got 3 different ways. So whichever one that they choose, we'll kind of go that way. And I don't push like a specific diet either. It's not like, hey, you're doing keto or this and that. It's like, hey, what do you want to do? We really sit down at the start and figure out what they want. And then I make that work with them. And then we give them options and tips on how to track this and that. And, but I mean, we use quite a few different methods. I mean, it could be like hand measuring. We do a lot of that too. And then, your Fitness Pal stuff, so you can have a more flexible diet. That's pretty good as well. That works well. But if someone doesn't have time to track and doesn't want to do all of that stuff, I think the hand one is amazing. And then also, if they want, we'll make more of like a flexible nutrition plan with a lot of different options that they can do. And that one seems to work well too. But again, it's all on preference too, right? So, and what I think that they should have as well. Which would work best for them.
I like the hand measuring one. I think that's a neat neat way to do it. And I think it just makes, because I think a lot of times,
Yeah.
like think about the average person, that they just get overwhelmed with thinking of all this micronutrients, macronutrients, like all this calorie counting, like, so they get overwhelmed with it. So I think you simplifying it for them, I think that's huge. I think that's a really good skill. And some like specialists like you, they don't know how to almost break it down to layman's terms for people to understand and make it simple. So then people end up not wanting to do it or change because they just there's too much information for them. And so I think like the fitness panel, the hand measuring, those simple actions and tools that they can use, I think really help people, more people probably, before you get results than making it really, really detailed and hard.
Yeah, no, as simple as you can keep it, that's when they're going to get results. They don't get overwhelmed. That's another huge reason why I don't push like 100 PDFs on them. I don't push all these different things, because they're just going to drop it, and nothing's going to happen. So again, that foundation thing is huge. Just starting at square one, we just walk through the steps. Even if you're above, I want to make sure that you're staying consistent with it, right? And then we can slowly add in stuff and move forward, maybe a little bit faster. But I still want to make sure that they're doing that as well.
Yeah. And you just said a word there, consistency, I think is huge. Sticking with something to build those habits, to really solidify those neural pathways, because I mean, they're probably building this whole new pattern and habit formation. And so if you can stick with it, get them to stick with it, then those habits, I think, will last a lot longer, and they'll see a lot better results from it.
Absolutely. No, I agree 100%. Consistency is huge, and that's something that we need to really narrow down. And that's why, I mean, like, giving those habits at a good rate where they can keep all of them consistent is obviously the main goal.
Yeah.
You don't want to give them too much, because then it just won't happen. So, but that's 100% it. If you do those things day in and day out and you stay consistent with it, they're going to come. You may not know how fast, but you'll eventually get what you want.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it kind of goes to the last point, the last kind of pillar you use is that mental clarity and recovery. So you make it clear for people, and then you help them clear their mind and kind of recover from everything. So what's that process from your program look like to get that mental clarity and recovery?
So the mental clarity part, there's nothing that like specifically like directly takes care of that. It's going to be it's everything kind of put together, and that's what you kind of get. Okay. So it's going to be like hydration is a huge thing for that. That's massive. Staying hydrated is huge. And then also your micronutrients, as along with like the proper macronutrient balance as well, like getting enough fats for brain functions. And then we're going to go to even the organizing thing. Like, this is huge too. Like, I've even had some people like, I'm like, maybe if you just take like the clutter out of your life, you're already on the right track, right? Like, if you're cleaning out, like, make sure your car is clean, make sure your room's clean, make sure like your house, everything like that. And the less you have hanging around, like, you wouldn't have, because I know that one works really well for me.
That's awesome.
So that's why I push that one too. I'm like, make sure like everything is laid out like that. And the more organized you are, like, you'll be in a better headspace for sure. But all of those kind of intertwine, and same with the planning as well, like your daily action lists or task lists. Like, the more organized you are with that too, that makes you not waste your like bandwidth on useless stuff. You're really focused, and you can get those tasks done. So
no, that's huge.
Yeah.
And especially the organization that you mentioned. I think a lot of people don't, like, almost don't recognize like having all this unorganized clutter, and they say like, oh no, I can work with that, like, it's okay. But I think it does. It really like kind of has an impact. And so I think that's a cool thing that you add into your program for people, is that clarity and that organization and everything.
I mean, the clear mind thing it's huge. It's to make proper decisions. That's pretty much what it comes, like, mental clarity is making proper decisions for as much as you can. So that's what we're trying to do. And like, especially like these high level entrepreneurs and stuff, like, this is a main thing we want to have, right? Like, they're making big choices all day and big decisions, that we want to make sure that they're the right ones. And we don't want you having like all this other stuff going through your head, or maybe some brain fog, or whatever that could reflect that choice, I guess.
Sure. No, absolutely. Now, do you, what are your thoughts on decision fatigue? Like if like Mark, you know, I'm talking like Zuckerberg, he wears the same clothes, so he doesn't have to decide on clothes, so it decreases the fatigue.
Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. That's why the scheduling and planning out is essential, because these guys like will have it all planned out for them, and they don't have to think about anything. They see what comes next, and they just do that thing. They don't have to make a plan in order to, you know what I mean, like in the moment. So everything's already planned. All you have to do is just follow through with those. So the less decisions, or the less whatever thinking about what they're going to eat, how, like all that it's going to be huge. And I'm big into that too. It just is making it as easy as possible, and the less decisions I have to make during the day is huge. So
right, because then you can focus. I think it's Jeff Bezos, Amazon owner of Amazon. He says like he just tries to make 3 big decisions each day, and then kind of let everything be based on his plan, his schedule and stuff. And so that way he's so much more clear and focused and makes better decisions that way.
Yeah. No, I've seen that as well.
Yeah,
for sure.
Cool.
Solid.
That's awesome. So I guess if people are kind of just getting into this, they're trying to improve performance and improve their health, and they're not with you on this program, obviously seek out your guidance, seek out your program so they can get on top of things. If not, what could they maybe do on their own just to kind of get started before they come to you to get in your program?
Yeah, again, that's I would start with,
I know, because there's so many different people.
No, I think the biggest thing is just going to be starting to organize everything. So start scheduling out, start practicing scheduling out your days. That's going to be huge. And write down exactly like what your goals are for long term. Let's say 3 months, because it's not too long, but it's right there, right? So 3 months, and then break that down into monthly and then weekly. And then now you just reverse engineer. You're like, what are you going to do each day to get to that, maybe that weekly goal? And then it's like, okay, after that, you keep breaking it down, and it's like, okay, that's that monthly goal. So we got to keep doing these certain things daily. I'll send a link with you as well, for them to download, and that kind of really just breaks it down how to properly schedule, and time blocking is huge as well too. So dedicating a certain amount of time to those tasks for them to get done. So I'll send that one over. That's probably that's a big one to start with.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean, if it's just like a figure goal or like your body goal, and that's all you kind of want, then I would just really start focusing on learning what foods you eat the most, and understand what value those things are providing for you. So if it's protein, carbs, or fats, alcohol, all your micros, kind of just, you don't have to go all scientific into it. Just understand what they provide for your body, and just maybe start looking at different options, and learn how to build meals with that too, and really focus on which ones you like, and trial and error, see how you feel on them. And then you can figure out kind of what foods really work for you too. So that's what I did as well. So
I think that's
takes a while, but
and I think what you were talking about, like kind of recognizing what you're eating, almost like going to that second step, that tracking of it on their own. I think that'll really surprise a lot of people. Like, oh wow, I eat that much junk a day, or I drink that much
always like that. It's always like that.
That's awesome. Or I only drink half a cup of water a day. That's it. No wonder I feel terrible.
The water one is a big one I push, because the results of it are really fast. So as soon as you start bringing it up to the amount that I would recommend for that person, then you can immediately see results.
An average amount of water, would you say?
Well, I would for sure try push for that. Like for us males, it's like 4 liters for sure.
Okay.
4 liters is like the bread and butter spot.
Cool.
3.5 to 4 I would say in between 3 and 4 for everyone.
Okay.
Try it and that's pretty much a good starting spot.
Yeah. And I'm sure
you can feel it.
Hard to do.
You have to definitely be conscious of it. Like, having, like for me right here, like you've seen me sip it all the time. Like this is a 1 liter bottle. I know how I have to fill that 3 times or 4 times. Sorry.
Yeah.
And that, yeah, I mean, I keep it in areas where I can grab it. It's always full. And then that's it. It makes it really simple for me. So,
Yeah.
and I just bring it everywhere so I can make it happen. You have to kind of make the effort to do it as well, though.
Yeah. No, that's a great point. So what you say, you see results pretty quickly with the water. What are some results people might see once they start?
So like even your recovery and sleep will be immediate.
Okay.
It's usually the sleep one, and then also just feeling a lot better just in general with, it could be focus or anything like that as well. But those are the main ones for sure. And it also aids in whichever direction you're going. But yeah, like fat loss for sure. It's a big one that they say as well.
That's awesome. No, yeah, I think water's huge, and we definitely,
is.
most people don't get even where close to it, which
No.
in the tracking, man, they'd be so shocked.
Yeah, the tracking one's a big one. I usually get them to send in like 2 days before we start of like what they generally eat. And I've got some interesting stuff.
Sure you get some really crazy stuff. What's off the top of your head, what's the craziest like kind of nutrition tracking you've seen, or like the worst?
Oh, I don't know. I've read so many, but there's it'll either be like literally not eating anything during the day, like it'll be like it won't be much because either they're so busy, or like I've literally seen one where it's like I don't know what's fast food for you guys, but let's put it in your way. It would be like Papa John's pizza, and then like it'll be like some other like burger place, and then some other burger place, and that's like they're like 3 days in a row, like 3 meals that are like complete garbage. And you're like, no wonder you feel so bad. Like,
yeah, seriously,
you're eating garbage every day. So it's just like those ones are the ones that are just like holy.
It is, that is crazy.
But like, I mean, yeah. Like, it's simple, it's fast, it's right there, it's it's already cooked, like everything, right? So it's like, yeah, that's what I mean. Like the people, like when I bring someone on, I'm very selective on who I bring on. It's I can tell right away in that initial call who, like, if we're going to work together well or not, and commitment thing, and your willingness to change has to be like a 10, or it's not gonna work for us.
Right, because then you're wasting your time, because they're not going to
100%.
They're wasting their time and money.
Exactly, they're wasting their time, their money, and then it also reflects how, like, my coaching service as well, right?
Yeah, so, that's true. That's a good point. So, what makes? I mean, obviously, them saying, they just say, "Yeah, I'm committed completely," or are there other kind of things you look for within their answers?
I mean, it can go whichever way for that, but I pretty much, we kind of go into what they're doing now, and how I really look at how much time they have to dedicate to it. And then just get their overall knowledge on kind of everything that I do teach, and see what level they're at. But mainly it's just that communication, like, hey, are you ready to do this? And then usually when they pay for it, they're ready to do it.
For sure. Yeah.
We'll put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. No, I think that's it's better than just trying to force it on someone. When they're ready, that's the best for them. And for you.
They're like, just even at the end of the call, they're just like, I'm so excited, I'm ready. Like, I can feel it. Like, I know that they're ready to go. And I've had almost every time, like, oh man, I'm like so excited. Like, I can't wait to get started.
And that's the best.
And they can tell you get it. They're like, oh, well, I'm not. Yeah. They're like, oh, well, like I wanted to. And like, I don't know. Like, and it's just like, I don't know then. I don't think it's going to work.
You might be better off doing this first and then coming back to them.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. I'll leave them with some value for sure. And see.
That's awesome. So yeah, I think these are great program. I mean, going through and having someone like Max, guys, guide you through the scheduling, then the tracking, and then just getting that mental clarity and recovery. I think this is something so many people need and can benefit from. And so, Max, I'm really grateful for you being on here sharing about.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And sharing all these nuggets with people on how they can improve their performance. But before I have anyone sign off, I always ask the final trait of pencil leadership is that pencils were created for a purpose, and that was to leave a good mark. So when everything is said and done for you on Earth, what do you hope your mark is?
It's going to be just changing as many lives as I can into just healthy lifestyles that prolong their life
Yeah.
and be able to accomplish the things that they want to. So like their major goals, whether it's business or fitness as well, and just live a life where they feel good about themselves. They feel good as a whole, like mentally through your body. You can definitely feel when you're not. So, and prevent the sickness, like everything like that. That's what we want. So
That's
just
awesome.
help as many people as we can.
No, I love it, man. That's amazing. So, well, I appreciate you being on. Where can people connect with you?
Oh yes. So Instagram is my main one.
Okay.
I'll be mainly on that one. That's at Max Cathcart, or you guys can just email me at cathcartmax@gmail.com, and that's pretty much my two sources there. So
Awesome. Cool. Well, yeah, guys, get
yeah.
connected with them. Continue to learn from. Get connected with the program if you want to increase performance. Again, Max, it was great having you on.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
No, thanks for having me. It was really fun. I really enjoyed talking about this stuff and spreading the word for sure. I'm definitely grateful to be on here, and we'll leave it at that. Hopefully we can do another one. We can dive into a few different topics maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's it.
Cool.
So, no.